What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. You're not going to believe what happened. Take a look here. Okay, first up, I'll show you a video here in a second. Russian missile attacks have destroyed a world famous Odessa Transfiguration Cathedral, a church that was built in 1794. This is just the first thing here. It was originally destroyed back in this is absolutely unbelievable, by Stalin in 1936, was rebuilt and now destroyed yet again by Putin. Take a look at this footage.
Боже мой, все, собора нема. Ребята. Таліван, а чим же, а є вода, де у нас крани якісь, що, чим тушить? Вчера послужили службу. Боже мой, кто бы мог представить? Что ж делать? Господи помилуй, одесситы, приходите спасать, тушить собор. Господи помилуй, ребята, собор преображается. Что делать? Куда бежать? Это все может еще на голову падать. Все, собора нету.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on this. This cathedral, this basically church, this is similar to like what you would see if you went to Rome or the Vatican City and seen, something there. This thing is, over 200 years old, 225 years old. The priceless relics there. Um, yeah, that just goes to show you that they're just aiming at anything they can there. Hospitals, homes, churches, anything in their path of destruction. Here's what U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has to say about the status of what is happening here.
Mr. Secretary, pleasure to have you on.
Great to be with you, Fareed.
Tell us what you can sense of what is going on in the counteroffensive that Ukraine is attempting with Russia. So far, the reports seem to be it is very slow and very tough going.
Well, first, Fareed, put this in perspective. In terms of what Russia sought to achieve, what Putin sought to achieve, they've already failed. They've already lost. The objective was to erase Ukraine from the map, to eliminate its independence, its sovereignty, to subsume it into Russia. That failed a long time ago. Now Ukraine is in a battle to get back more of the land that Russia seized from it. It's already taken back about 50% of what was initially seized. Now they're in a very hard fight to take back more. These are still relatively early days of the counteroffensive. It is tough. The Russians have put in place strong defenses, but I'm convinced that with the equipment and support they've received now from more than 50 countries, with the training that their forces have gotten, and many of the forces who've gotten that training have not yet been put fully into this fight, and maybe more than anything else, with the fact that, unlike the Russians, the Ukrainians are fighting for their land, for their future, for their country, for their freedom. I think that is the decisive element, and that's going to play out. But it will not play out over the next week or two. We're still looking, I think, at several months.
So if you look at what the Ukrainians are up against, these are minefields, then trenches, then Russian artillery. One of the reasons that it's proving so difficult is that they have no air power. If the U.S. Army were to do this, the United States would have massive air power, lots of bombing, clear the way, make it possible for the troops to then move forward. Why not give the Ukrainians the F-16s that they are asking for, because that will make this counteroffensive much more effective?
Fareed, at every step along the way, in fact, going back before the Russian aggression, when we saw the storm rising, and we made sure going back to Labor Day before the war, Christmas before the war, that they started to get in their hands the equipment they would need if the Russians went forward. Javelins, Stingers. They had that on hand. They were able to repel the attack against Kyiv. They were able to save their country from being taken entirely by Russia. Every step along the way ever since, we've worked to try to get them what they need when they need it. But it's not just the equipment itself. It's the training. It's the maintenance. It's the ability to use it in combined arms operations. All of that takes time. If a decision were made to actually move forward on the F-16s tomorrow, it would be months and months before they were actually operational.
But then why not make the decision so that they can get them?
So this is what we're working on now, because as I said, it's not enough to give them F-16s. They've got to be trained. The training program is moving forward with a number of countries. All of that's happening. But I'm not a military expert. I think you've heard Chairman Milley, Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, speak to this. We believe that what they have and what they've been trained on is what they need to be effective, including dealing with the Russian mines. But it is hard going.
But they feel differently. When I talk to Ukrainians, they say, there's a pattern here. Every time we ask for something, we're first told, you can't have it, you're not yet ready for it, you don't have the training for it. And then from HIMARS through cluster bombs, eventually we get it, but we get it late, and why not have given it to us earlier if you're trying to make a difference on the battlefield?
So if I were in the shoes of our Ukrainian friends and partners, I'd probably be saying exactly the same thing. And President Zelensky's been extraordinary as a leader and in trying to galvanize the international community along with us to provide them what they need. But the other thing is this. There are 50 some odd countries in this coalition in support of Ukraine. Lloyd Austin's been leading this process on the military side. And different countries do different things at different times, and it all complements each other. So, for example, we have certain munitions that we provided to the Ukrainians, including the HIMARS. Other countries have provided some munitions that have a longer range because as the Russians move back their command and control, as they move back some of their supply depots, out of range in some cases of what we've given them, the munitions that other countries are providing as part of an organized coalition are allowing the Ukrainians to hit them. They've had some significant success. So our military leaders are using their best expertise possible to help determine what it is that can be most effective for the Ukrainians, how quickly can it be deployed, how effectively can they use it. That will continue, and the process on the F-16s is moving.
Which means they will get F-16s.
Well, look, I believe that that they will, and the important focus is on making sure that when they do, they're properly trained, they're able to maintain the planes and use them in a smart way.
Do you think it could be part of the Russian strategy to try to wait for the election of 2024, hope that Donald Trump comes into the White House and they can cut a deal with him?
Well, again, everything we put in motion and that many other countries are taking a lead role in, that will happen irrespective of what happens in any given election in any one of our countries. There is now a long-term program in place that will make sure that Ukraine
has
the
U.S. is providing 75% of
Actually,
the assistance.
if you look at the burden sharing on this between the United States, Europe, and other partners, Japan, and others, it's actually quite remarkable. Other countries have stepped up in ways that we haven't seen before. On the security side, we're the number one provider, but others have done a lot. But if you look as well on the economic side, the ability to make sure that Ukraine has direct budgetary support. More is actually coming from Europe and others than from us. Humanitarian assistance. The refugees who've been housed throughout Europe and are able to work, send their kids to school. All of that collectively has been a remarkable demonstration of countries coming together and assuming their responsibilities.
Yeah, so as you could see, there's several different problems that they still have to navigate through, and this could be going on here still for quite a while as Russia is still bombarding Ukraine almost on a daily basis. And yeah, it's still pretty brutal. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything happening here around the world that you need to know about here on a daily basis. So if you haven't yet, subscribe down below, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos as well. Click here to see a major announcement coming in 48 hours, or Russia openly speaking about attacking NATO countries. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.